I'm Abby. Welcome to my New York City kitchen, where today we're making tempeh bolognese. So don't worry if you don't know what tempeh is. I'm going to kind of walk you through that as we go. So the first thing you want to do is have a pot on the stove. You always want to make sure your pot is hot before you put in any oil. So I've had this on for a few minutes. It's hot in there, so I'm going to put in our olive oil. You can hear it already getting hot and spitting up a little bit. Then I'm going to put in some onion and some celery and carrots. And I'm also going to put some salt in there now, because what happens then is the salt draws out that moisture, and that helps our vegetables kind of cook a little bit faster and get nice and translucent or caramelized. All right, now while that's cooking, let's talk about tempeh. So tempeh is vegan. It is a fermented soybean. So you can find this at the grocery store, usually in the produce department. There's tofu and tempeh and other plant-based products. So I have cooked it ahead. So what you want to do with tempeh is you can steam it, so in a steamer basket on top of your stove, or you can actually microwave it with some water. If you steam it, it's about 10 to 15 minutes. If you microwave it, maybe like 3 to 4. But what that does is it draws out any bitterness. So some people do get a bitter taste if that has not been done with the tempeh. So you really want to make sure that you do that steaming or microwaving step first. And what I have also done for the purposes of our bolognese today is I've cooked it, let it cool, and then I cut it into very, very small pieces so that we're mimicking essentially like a meat sauce. So instead of having ground meat in here, we have, you know, minced or grated or cut really, really small tempeh. So if you are vegan or vegetarian, or you are a meat eater who just wants to experiment with some other plant-based products, I love tempeh. It's a really easy starter food if you are looking to increase the amount of plant-based foods that you eat, because essentially it's just soybeans. So easy to add, lots of protein, lots of great vitamins and nutrients in there. Okay, so we've sauteed these for a few minutes. We're gonna add in some garlic. Saute that a little bit. Maybe like 30 seconds or so. And we're gonna add that tempeh in. Gonna mix this all together. Beautiful. Oh, you can't smell this, but I can. It smells so yummy. Okay, then we're gonna do a little bit of tomato paste, which will kind of deepen the flavor. We wanna really make sure that we cook that for about 30 seconds to a minute, and we're gonna add also dried oregano and some red pepper flakes. If you don't like spicy, you can opt to not put in the red pepper flakes. If you do like spicy, you can add even more red pepper flakes than what is recommended in the recipe. Okay, and now what we're gonna do is deglaze our pan. So there's some things stuck on the bottom. When you saute, that's the fond on the bottom of the pan. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some red wine. And that is going to boil a little bit, and then we can really get anything that's stuck on the bottom of that pan. It will also add some nice flavor. You can use white wine, you can use chicken stock, you can use vegetable stock, any kind of liquid. You could even use water. I like to add a little bit of red wine flavor, but you could even actually use red wine vinegar. But water or stock is always a really great option. Okay, so now we have here some crushed tomatoes. We're gonna add that in there. If you like a chunkier sauce, you could also use a can of whole peeled tomatoes. That works great also. We just wanna kind of mix this all together. And then the final thing I'm gonna do right now is put in a little bit of soy sauce. That's another trick that adds a bit of umami flavor when you're doing something that's vegan or vegetarian. Sometimes you wanna just punch up that umami a little bit. Mushrooms also help with that, but the soy sauce definitely helps with that as well. In place of something animal-based, we can use a little soy sauce. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is turn down the heat to a simmer, and we'll just let this kind of cook. Could be 10 minutes, could be 20 minutes, could be 30 minutes, to whatever consistency that you like the best. So I will see you back here in about 20 minutes. Okay, so we have been letting our tempeh bolognese simmer for about 20 minutes. Here is our optional end trick. If you still want to smooth out the sauce a little bit, it's again a personal preference. Some people like to put a little sugar or a little dash of honey in there. I only use maybe like half a teaspoon or less. Really smooth it out, mix it all together, and then we are done and good to go. So now, how do we eat our tempeh bolognese? So this is a perfectly complete meal and delicious if you want to eat it this way. You could also put it on pasta. It would do really well with some short pasta like penne or rotini. You could also put it on spaghetti squash or some other kind of vegetable noodle like zucchini noodles. Or sometimes I like to put zucchini noodles and spaghetti all together, so you get kind of both. You could put it on rice, you could put it on farro, you could put it on polenta. Kind of sky is the limit here. So whatever you want to eat it with will taste delicious. So I'm just gonna put some in a dish here for now. You can see all these beautiful veggies in there, and of course the tempeh. And then I'm just going to put some fresh herbs on there. If you are not vegan and you are vegetarian, or if you eat all animal proteins, you could also put some Parmesan cheese on here, some mozzarella cheese. Okay, so once again, I'm Abby. This is my tempeh bolognese. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.